Chancellor, how are you? Good morning. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Will have to flow to where the workforce is. At 19, Africa's median age is less than half of Europe and comparable to China's median age in the mid-70s. By 2050, Africa will account for a quarter of the world's workforce, the same proportion for China today. These visits are the first African state visits to China this year. Mere members. Such a council would better reflect today's geopolitical realities and uphold the principle that most received only 2.4%. That is very global south. I wish to commend China for its leadership in renewable energy technologies, particularly in solar power and electric vehicles.
We strongly believe that the growth and development of Kenya in trade and commerce is not mutually exclusive to the growth of China. So as the China trade grows, so can the Kenyan trade. And we also want to encourage our business people to take advantage of that, and we'll be having conversations around how we can be able to open more exports to this country, and I think also to encourage our tourists, especially from here, who have not visited.
China stands ready to work together with Kenya to jointly defend the rules-based multilateral trading system, to uphold trade liberalization and facilitation, and inject more of a stability and certainty into global economy and global trade. Currently, China is advancing Chinese modernization on all fronts through high-quality development. China enjoys broad market potential, a well-established industrial ecosystem, and enduring competitive or comprehensive competitiveness. The fundamentals in sustaining China's long-term growth will never change. Kenya, as an important economy in East Africa, enjoys sound economic foundation and unique geographical advantages. It is a leader in industrial development in East African region. Going forward, China stands ready to take the opportunity of implementing the important consensus of our leaders during the visit of the President this time, as well as the 10 partnership actions of the FOCAC Beijing Summit last year, to encourage and support our companies to leverage our respective advantages, comparative advantages, to further deepen trade and investment cooperation, and to elevate the China-Kenya Trade and Economic Cooperation to a new stage.
I invite Chinese investors to explore a wide array of opportunities and priority sectors in Kenya that are ripe with opportunity. From manufacturing, we offer promising prospects ranging from textiles and pharmaceuticals to electric mobility and construction materials, all supported by Kenya's expanding industrial base. In agriculture and agro-processing, where our rich agricultural base offers a double-digit return on investment, our ICT and BPO sector, housing and construction, tourism, creative economy, mining, and blue economy are other sectors that have wide-ranging opportunities for investment. We offer a balanced portfolio of sectors for all of you to consider. With our strategic location along global trade routes, as part of the Belt and Road Initiative, we offer world-class connectivity that augments the business ecosystem on the African continent and beyond, offering investors a natural entry point into Africa's next wave of industrialization, innovation, and cross-border trade.
We have invested in the construction of factory buildings covering an area of 100,000 square meters, since last year in Ash River Export Processing Zone. All the factory buildings have been leased to 4 government factories. The first factory has been put into production, and the other 3 factories will start operation within this year. More than 15,000 jobs will be created by our investment. Our 3 years investment experience in Kenya proves that it has a very bright future to invest in manufacturing industry in Kenya. We will continue to increase our investment in Kenya and support more and more Chinese enterprises to invest in Kenya. We are confident that we will create more jobs in Kenya and do believe Chinese investors will succeed in investing in Kenya.
Kenya is open for business. Our country is undergoing rapid transformation, which constitutes the 4th medium-term plan of our Vision 2030. This agenda is anchored on 5 key pillars: agricultural transformation, universal health coverage, affordable housing, the digital and creative economy, and the development and expansion of micro, small, and medium enterprises. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we mark 6 decades of diplomatic and economic cooperation between Kenya and China, my current visit seeks to chart a new course towards mutual prosperity. We are seeking strategic partnerships to expand our infrastructure, including transport, energy, logistics, and urban development.
You may now all rise and take pictures. Very good. Now you may rise to take pictures. You may now resume your seats. Thank you very much. You may now rise to take pictures. You may now resume your seats.
He would make the next move to come to Kenya and put their excellency that since that time, they have invested in various fields, in manufacturing. Those who have invested in Kenya already are enjoying benefits and fruits of investing in that into this country. It is the most feasible way for us to balance trade. As you are all aware, our tea and coffee are premium products globally. In fact, Chinese companies admit that Kenyan tea and coffee is premium coffee, but today it is subjected to tariffs, and that is what impedes the export of our tea and coffee and macadamia and avocados to this country. And the discussion we are going to have is how we can have a preferential trade agreement that gives Kenya preferential access, the same way we have a AGOA that gives duty-free, quota-free access for our goods to the US. The discussion we're going to have is that of a duty-free, quota-free access to the Chinese market for our products. That way, we can export more to this country, export better products, and we're going this time around to be exporting processed agro products into this market. I am very happy that we have made tremendous progress in this pursuit. I remember when I appointed Willie Bett here, my assignment to him was we must open the Chinese market. I am happy that now the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment is aligned. And I came here with Lee MATIANG'I, CS responsible, and his assignment is clear, that by the end of this year, we must have a preferential trade agreement between Kenya and China that will give us market access for our products. In fact, immediately we sign the framework agreement tomorrow, Lee MATIANG'I and team might remain behind to make sure that they progress the conversation towards a preferential trade agreement shortly. And so I am very happy to be in this great city, and I want to congratulate all of you, whether you are students or professionals or business people, for daring abroad and doing what you're doing in China, either sharpening your skills in schools, colleges, and universities, or you are deploying your knowledge and expertise in the professional space here in China, or those of you who are doing business. And when I ran for president, I did commit that I will have a diaspora department that will, whose business it will be to manage the affairs of Kenyans in diaspora, to respond to their issues, and to serve them so that we can better leverage on the expertise, the knowledge, the efforts of people in diaspora to drive the development of our country. I'm very happy with what Roslyn Jogu, my CS, my PS for Diaspora Affairs, working under PCS here, and him and his team with Isaiah here, and all the other members of that team will continuously work with the embassy staff to see to it that Kenyans in the diaspora are served as best as we can, just the same way we work for the rest of Kenyans at home. Finally, I am sure you are following on developments back home in terms of the implementation of our program and our plan. Just so that you know, our housing program is underway. We have close to 150,000 houses being built around Kenya. Majority of them will be ready this year. In fact, I will be handing over keys to the first 4,000 units next month, and it will be continuous. You now have an opportunity working in the diaspora to buy some of those housing units. You do not have to depend on your family members or your friends, who I am told occasionally run away with your money. You will now have a place to buy a house without any hassle. And the ministry responsible for housing will let you know how you can book for a unit online. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need any brokers. You don't need to see anybody. You can book a unit online. And somebody's going to tell you exactly how that is done shortly. To also tell you that I did commit that we are going to have a different savings culture. As you are aware, since independence, we have been paying a very small fraction for our social security. In fact, up to 2 years ago, we were paying 200 shillings for everybody to National Social Security Fund. And in 60 years, we only managed to save 320 billion shillings. In fact, we have a smaller social security, smaller than Tanzania and smaller than Uganda, yet we have a bigger economy. But I made the decision that we are going to change the regulations and the law governing savings in Kenya. Why? Because investment is a function of savings. You cannot invest if you don't have any savings. You have nothing to invest. And just for your information, China, savings in China is 55% of their GDP. In Kenya, we were at 8%, maybe 9%, maybe 10%. It is my intention to push savings as a percentage of GDP to between 25 and 30%. That is where a majority of countries are. And because of the changes we have made, the good news is that while we collected or saved 320 billion shillings for 60 years, in 2 years, we have doubled our savings, just in 2 years. By the end of this year, we will have 650 billion shillings saved because of the changes we have made. And by 2027, we will have 1 trillion saved. That is why I am not very popular with people who don't want to save. But for the people who want to save, they know what difference that is making. And that is how we are going to stop borrowing from other countries. We will be borrowing from our own savings to finance our own development.